Hello, mortgage broker community. Welcome to the Wednesday weekly sales meeting every week here on the AIME Facebook page, live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. A lot to talk about today and want to get started. We had a great week last week. We're starting to see things stabilize in the marketplace. We saw the big announcement earlier this week from FHFA that borrowers 3 months removed from forbearance will be able to qualify for a refinance or a purchase. That's a big deal. But let's get started with what we're here for today, which is getting our mindsets focused, making sure that we're doing what we need to be doing within our businesses to be successful, and making sure that we're supporting our team members in the best way possible for them to be successful. So here's a quote that I really love, and it's: chaos is about everyone and everything. Clarity is about you. And I think about this as I look at comments that people make on different posts on social media. I think about it as I have group meetings with different brokers throughout the country and the things that brokers are thinking about and focusing on. We are going to stay focused on our consumers. We're going to stay focused on building our businesses. There's a lot of distractions out there right now. There's a lot of people that are doing, whether it's, captive builder relationships, real estate agents with MSAs and joint ventures with realtors. There's a lot of that out there. We're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on doing right by consumers, and we're going to focus on doing right by our team members. And that's the important thing here. And having the clarity to know when you walk in the office every day, what you're working on is serving those two things, those two groups of people, is the most important thing that you need to be focusing on. And that's the clarity I want you to have every day when you walk into work is what I'm working on right now benefiting my customers, my referral partners, and my team members. And think about that. Like, are you focusing on, whether it's automating processes, investing in technology, making sure you're working with lender partners and vendor partners that are fully supporting your business? Do you have the clarity to know the difference between a good lender partner and a bad lender partner? And that's really important today. And it's one of the themes that I've seen over the last week. And that theme is not understanding that we own our business. Whether you're a loan originator or a mortgage broker, it's your business. You own it. It's your reputation. It's your business. And that's the perspective we have to have. When you do a loan with a lender and that lender's at 30 days turn time on underwriting, just understand, you made the decision to send the loan to that lender. So that's your reputation that's on the line. It might be their turn time, but it's your reputation, it's your client experience, and we got to know better. We have to be monitoring these things. We have to be holding our partners accountable. And we have to understand that a client experience that is 30, 45, 60 days is not optimal. So if you go into it and you set the expectation with the client and they're okay with that, that's one thing. But that's not what's happening. We're dealing with customers that are coming back week after week saying, hey, when am I going to close? What's going on with my loan? Hey, I heard rates went down. Do I get a better rate? 30 to 45 days is a long time for a client to be sitting in the pipeline. And people that look at it and say, hey, I want to nag my lender. I want to bitch about my lender's turn time. No. You have a choice. There's lenders right now in the market that are delivering same-day underwrites. There's lenders that are in the market that are doing 2 to 3 day underwrite in turn times. And then there's lenders that are at 45 and 60 days to get a loan closed. Now understand what they're doing. They might give you a better price, so you make more money or that loan is paying more money, but they're buying themselves time. They're basically saying, hey, we'll give you an extra point if you're dumb enough to wait around for 30 to 60 days with your loan in our pipeline because we won't get to it until then. That's not a business model. That's not a plan. That's not what we're focused on. How is that serving your consumers? How is that serving your team members? You got to make the hard decisions. You got to make the easy decisions. And you got to understand that serving the client and making sure that you're getting your loans closed quickly all starts with the lending partners that you're working with. So it's your reputation that's on the line. It's your business that's on the line. Expectations, under promise, over deliver. If you're not in a situation where you've locked a loan, last week Conquest came out, great program. Brokers are very excited about the program. We saw that UWM came out and said, I think about 10 or 15,000 consumers went to the findamortgagebroker.com website, which ended up calling mortgage brokers in local communities. That's a big deal because we're seeing rates between 2.75, 2.875 on a 30-year fix. Now it's a 22-day rate lock. So it's all about setting those expectations. I talked to a loan officer the other day and said, hey, I got a 30-day purchase. I quoted the customer on this program. And when I got within 22 days, the price had moved, the rate had moved a little bit. Well, understand that's your customer experience. It's your expectations that you have to set. And you have to make sure you understand that we can't control the market. We can only control what we can control. So in a situation like that, if you got a customer who needs to lock for 30 days, you got to tell them what the deal is. You have to tell them, hey, I either have to wait 8 days to be able to give you this best rate, or here's what I can do for a 30 or 45-day rate lock. But understanding it's all about you under promising and over delivering every single time. The most important thing that you can do for your customers is set the right expectations. If you do that, not only will the customer experience be great, but your process, your team members, the pressure and stress that goes on everybody that's related to that transaction, it all goes down. When you tell a customer, hey, we're definitely going to close you in 15 days. Well, if you don't, the expectation was, hey, we start on June 1st and I'm not closed by June 15th. Expectations have been let down. Make sure you go into it the right way. Most customers aren't even expecting to close within 30 days. So don't put yourself in a position where you put pressure on your team members, you put pressure on yourself. Make sure you're setting the right expectation. Big thing, it's probably one of the most common things I see. It's something that's fully in your control and something that you can do right out the gates. Time management is a really big one. We see people on Facebook all day long. And one of the things I tell people is in my schedule, I've shown people this before, I schedule times throughout the day when I'm going to go on social media. I schedule times throughout the day where I'm going to call my children. I schedule times throughout the day where I'm going to have certain things. I have meetings scheduled all day long. I have appointments scheduled all day long. Down to every 15 minutes of every single hour, I have my whole entire day scheduled out. Time management is the key to achieving your goals. Time management is the key to success in business, period. So if you're in a situation where you're working and then you go over to Facebook, or you're working and then you go over to ESPN.com, or you're working and you go over to whatever you're going over to, understand that is not effective time management. You can't focus on two things at one time. Either you're working or you're screwing around. So just understand, time management is the key to providing a great customer experience, to growing your business, to supporting your team, and to being successful at the level that you want to be successful. But you have to pick and choose. You have to focus on it. It's a decision. You have to come into the day and say, hey, this is what I want to accomplish today. Let me schedule out my day and make sure that I'm accomplishing those things. If I want to spend 10 minutes, an hour on Facebook, great. Schedule it. Go do your 10 minutes on Facebook. Get back to work once you're done. But don't have this back and forth relationship with social media and all these distractions out there and put yourself in a position where you never get the momentum of the day going. You never fully focus on what you need to be focused on. And you're always just operating at 50%. So that's a big one, time management. I see it all the time. It's really important. It's key to my success. It's something that I focus on. I've always focused on. And it's really, really important that you stick to it and you're disciplined. Big lender announcements of the week. We have a couple of them here. The first one, Angel Oak coming out with some new products, new non-QM products. Obviously, a couple months ago after the credit crunch happened, we saw a lot of the non-QM products, a lot of the jumbo products tighten up, go away. Well, they're starting to come back. The market stability in the market is coming back, and so is non-QM. Angel Oak with a big announcement this week. They got a 24-month bank statement program. They got an investor cash flow program. This will be the start of more programs, more credit, more liquidity in the non-QM market. It's exciting. It's important. These are qualified borrowers. There's an entire market of consumers that need to be served. These are great products. They're a great company, and they're focused on making sure that we have non-QM products. So as brokers, we're getting these first to market before anybody else in the market. It's important that we're making sure that we're leveraging them, we know what's available, and we're providing those customers in need the solutions that are best for them. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. here on the AIME Facebook page, I'll be doing an interview with Scott Tansel, EVP from Franklin American Mortgage. They're a division of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank is one of the two big real true bank lenders in our space, obviously Flagstar Bank as well. And we're really excited about this. One of the big missing products that we've had here in the wholesale channel is a true jumbo product that can compete with not only retail lenders, but also banks. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the future of the market. And we're going to talk about why Franklin American and Citizens Bank are so excited about the wholesale channel, because this is the growth channel. The one big thing that everybody's saying right now is wholesale is outgrowing the market. But just understand, everybody's growing their businesses right now. Retail's growing, brokers are growing. Every LO should be doing more business than they did last year. That's true. But the broker channel and brokers are outgrowing the entire market. We're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow. It's really exciting. So make sure you tune in at 1 p.m. Eastern time here on the AIME Facebook page. Going to introduce here, Renee Rodriguez, going to talk about sales strategy, marketing strategy, and social media presence. Renee? Hey, Renee, you there? Renee, you're on.
Are we on right now? Oh, hold on one sec.
Oh, you a little busy? You're distracted?
When are we on?
Yeah, you're live.
Now?
Yeah, you're live right now.
Oh.
Don't seem prepared.
Can you hit the lights, please? All right, hold on. Sorry about that. Hey, that was great, man. That was really good.
Were you paying attention?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a regular meeting. I mean, but I think the point that we're trying to make is how I want to ask everybody right now how you felt the moment that it seemed like I wasn't ready. And I do that because about 99% of the people that I've been on meetings with, that's how you come across on these virtual meetings. I have done over 100 podcasts, virtual meetings, and virtual trainings in the last 60 days. That's really about 40 working days. And I paid attention. And the one thing that we are missing more than anything is this concept called virtual or digital body language. For the last 15 to 20 years, I've been paying attention to how important it is for our body to communicate things and where we stand with this thing we call the influence zone. And then COVID-19 happens, and we're left with this tiny little box that we got to influence in, right in here. And not always, and very rarely do we even get this much attention. We have this little space that we get a chance to influence in. And it drives me crazy how many people don't understand that we have this little space. This is your brand. We don't use our hands. We miss out on lighting opportunities. You want to hit that for a minute? Just take a look at the difference of what happens when our lighting goes out. Hit the top, the bottom light for me too as well. Or people that wear hats and they can't see. Hey, you know what? No, we're very excited about what's going on, and I'd like to make sure that you trust me. I can't even see your eyes. Let's turn it back on. And so when we're looking at this whole new world of digital body language or virtual body language, we need to start paying attention of what our space looks like. What does our backdrop look like? And I even had to call and warn Anthony before this, said, hey, by the way, this is how I'm going to start, because he is he's such a stickler and so, what's the word? He pays attention to his backdrop. Look how beautiful his visual looks in the background. His brand is clear. Brokers are better. His audio quality is there. I know Nicole has spent the last 2 weeks just nailing a DSLR to make it look beautiful in that whole process. Those are people that are paying attention to the details. And so what I want to talk to you about right here is this concept of virtual and digital body language. So we know that we have this space that we're working with here. And we even forgot to put the microphone on. Now look at that, how important it is to have better quality audio. Did you notice a difference? Did you hear that? Before and afterwards. So we're looking at this little space that we have here for our body language. Now, when we're speaking, we have this thing we call an influence zone that goes from our belly button all the way to our eyes. And if I were to move my hands out of the influence zone and try to tell you how excited I am for something to happen, it just doesn't have the same impact if I were to be here and say, I'm so excited about what's going on, and all of a sudden my hands are here. But now, when we have this little space, I'm doing the same motion, but you can't see it. So I've got to move my hands here and say, what we're thinking about is all these things. And so paying attention to now, this is the new influence zone. So make sure that you understand how to use your hands, but also your face. If I miss an opportunity or somebody rolling their eyes at me or somebody showing disinterest, or maybe I have my camera here, but I have the visual of my team here and I'm looking here and having that conversation, I'm missing out on critical elements. And so I want to give you 5 key elements that matter when it comes to running in this digital body language. And the first one we talked about is lighting. You saw how important it is. Real simple tip, 3 key elements to lighting. You have to have what's called a key light. This light here comes in. If you have natural lighting, that's a really good thing to have because it's a natural key light, or put one of those ring lights. Then you have a fill light, which comes in on the opposite. See what happens when I take away the fill? It makes half of my face dark. But you put that there, all of a sudden I've got both sides there. But the one that most people don't do is what's called an edge light. And that edge light is back here. I wonder if I can turn the camera just a little bit so you can see. See that little light there? And that edge light rounds things out, creates an edge. So it creates the dimension of what's going on. Little details matter. Video quality. I made a decision about 3 weeks ago that I wanted to move away from the typical webcam, and now we use a DSLR. If you don't know what a DSLR is, look it up. And when you do that, now we have HD quality. If you go back, when Anthony comes back, look at how rich his video looks. And when you compare that to a typical webcam, it's worlds apart. It's a game changer. So invest the time to learning how to do that. Audio, you heard the difference of having audio, making sure that people can actually hear what's going. Now, what if that was an important message, but your audio kept going in and out? Audio is everything. So make sure that you sound good. And the digital body language, make sure you're standing right, you're dressed right, utilizing this little square space that you have. And by me having an extended microphone and a high quality camera allows me to get more of my body involved in the message. And the last one is have good content. If you don't have good content, who's going to pay attention to you? Because if you miss out on these things, but you got great content, this is the stuff that people are going to miss out, or that they're going to shut you out. So making sure that you have all of these elements in place and then have something good to say. So last question. How much time do we have? The last question. I want to make these short and sweet. How productive were you this week? We talked about in the first meeting about managing from a little box, right? And why do we make a box so small? So a story doesn't fit. We are reinforcing the numbers first, story second culture. Making sure if somebody says, well, how many phone calls did you make today? Well, you know, I had this big, nope, we don't want to hear story first. We want a numbers first, story second culture. And if you made 0 phone calls, we already know what that's going to translate. That means you've done nothing to grow your business. You've done nothing to push yourself forward. And if we wonder why we're in a slump, or we wonder why sales are low, is when we start forgetting to make the simple activities to make those phone calls. And if you remember, what are the 6 money-making activities? I'll run through them again. I'm going to run through them every week, and you should have them memorized. If you don't have this, write down the word PAPCAR, P-A-P-C-A-R. Prospecting, you can't have anything if you don't prospect, because they generate leads. And then you set appointments with those leads to be able to do a presentation, P-A-P, a presentation of value, to then be able to close based on what you say in the presentation of value. So then you can do the aftercare, which is keeping your promise and delivering service. So then if you wow them, you can ask for referrals, P-A-P-C-A-R. So again, how productive were you this week? Make sure, oh, by the way, now, big question I get is, okay, Renee, you got this great studio here and you got lighting. Here's the reality. You can develop and create a great studio with amazing audio and amazing video and amazing lighting for the cost of 1 night out on the town. 2 nights out on the town, you've got a professional studio. Well, then the next question is learning curve. Well, how long is it going to take me to learn? Well, I guarantee you'll master this in the same amount of time you devoted to watching The Tiger King. So don't take one of those episodes, take one of those seasons that you want to watch so desperately of your favorite show and devote it to your business and learning a new technology. But the payoff will be priceless. So that's it for this week. I will see you again. Make sure you put notes in the comments. I will be answering them live. Back to you, Anthony.
Thank you, Renee. Those are great tips. And I just want to let everybody know the reason why we do this weekly sales meeting, it's all about you. It's all about making sure that we're staying on point, that we're growing, that we're getting what we need, and we're hearing what is necessary to get better every single week. Sometimes when you're sitting home alone and you're not in a position where you have a mentor, you have a sales leader, or you have somebody to rely on to bounce ideas off of, you don't get what you need when it comes to direction. So the value that Renee's bringing is he's an observer. He's sitting there watching what people are doing on social media. He's doing these Zoom conference calls and seeing the presentation that people put out there. You are putting yourself out in this world. What you put out in this world is a direct reflection of who you are. And do you want to be low quality? Do you want to be poor presentation, poor audio, or do you want to be crystal clear, sharp, well presented? That's the decision we have to make, and that's what Renee's talking about today. Again, this is all about providing you with value and putting you in a position to be successful. So thank you, Renee. We appreciate your time. One of the things we want to spotlight, we spotlighted it last week. I'm going to do it every single week. The Broker to Broker podcast. We had over 1,100 people download last week's podcast. This week, we got a great podcast. Nate Davis, owner of the Florida mortgage firm. He's a purchase-focused business model. They have one of the top brokerages in the entire country. Great team, great processes, customer experience, technology. They've invested in their business. He's a veteran. He's somebody that I've served on a couple advisory councils on. Great human being, and he gave us an hour of his time this week on the Broker to Broker podcast strictly to provide the value, the tips, the key ways he built his business, the key ways he invested in his business to get over the hump and to be in a position he is in today to have a successful business with a great culture and a great team. So I strongly recommend it. Nate's a star. This is definitely a podcast you want to check out. Also want to talk about the featured partner of the week in our Brokers Are Better vendor network. Really, really good one, Verse. And I want to tell you, like, this is the single biggest thing that we're missing. This is the thing that we need. We, as individual loan officers, don't have that CSR, that customer service rep, that person that's hitting our database, that person that's hitting our leads the minute they come through the website, or that person, the minute a referral comes in the door, they can call them right away. We don't have that person for the most part. Verse provides a service. And I think it's about $1,000 a month as a discount, or $1,100 a month as a discount that we negotiated with them for our members. And they provide 24 hours a day, on point, on demand service, customized to you. They solely are calling the 200 people per month that you assign, your new leads that come in, your pre-approvals, your past clients. They'll call whoever you designate for them to call, but they call it on point. A lot of the brokers that we are working with that have used this vendor have already seen 20 to 30% conversion of the leads that they're having Verse call. It's an incredible service. If you don't have that CSR, you have to use a service like Verse. Believe me when I tell you, it's worth the investment. The other day I had a broker email me and they were saying, hey, Anthony, I'm paying $200 a month for HomeBot. Do you think you can negotiate a better deal? And I said, that's the best deal we can negotiate. HomeBot's a great service. They do a great job. Is it providing value to you? He said, yeah, well, I got 4 to 5 leads this month from it. I said, well, if you close 4 to 5 deals from HomeBot just this month, you're talking about $20,000 plus in revenue. Was it worth $200? Was it worth the $200 a month? Of course. Yeah. Would it be great if it was $150? But this is the kind of stuff we should be focused on. It doesn't matter. Verse, it's $1,000. It seems like a big number, but the value that it brings is much greater than that $1,000. So great vendor partner. We enjoy the partnership. We talk to the ownership. We talk to the leadership. If you have any issues, please contact AIME. We talk to these guys all the time. We'll make sure you're getting the proper service and support. Last thing I want to finish up with today is something that's near and dear to my heart and something that is very important to all brokers. Over the last 4 to 5 weeks, I've been receiving 40 emails from brokers all over the country that are getting solicited and being recruited from a national retail lender. I'm not going to get into who it is, but this national retail lender is, sending their loan officers, big signing bonuses, offering the moon, and all that good stuff. And here's what I want to tell you is that's the typical retail mercenary mindset. That's not who we are, okay? They think they can buy you. They think they can buy your business. They think that all the hard work you put in, they can just stroke a check and own you. And that's their game. What they don't realize is we're patriots. We're not mercenaries. We're not here to be bought. We build a business, we build a brand, we build a reputation, we invest in our communities, we invest in our consumers, we invest in our teams. We're building a business here, okay? And it's not for sale. So when I see emails like this, I just want everybody to know, it's easy to get distracted by the number. They'll throw a big number on there. Hey, we're gonna give you a signing bonus of X amount of dollars. Well, guess what? If you amortize that signing bonus over the extra basis points that they're gonna be making off you, it only takes 3 to 4 months to make up that number. So don't get distracted by that. But what I want you to focus on, and what I really want to make sure these guys understand is we're not for sale. We're focused on best serving consumers. We're not looking to work for some national lender that has huge margins and MSAs and all this behind the scenes nonsense going on that they bake into their rates. We're focused on serving consumers and serving our consumers. So we're patriots. We're not mercenaries. You keep your money. And to be honest with you, the focus right now as brokers is when we see these kind of companies, these are the companies we need to double down on competing against. These are the companies we got to make sure we get that LE and we're competing against them. We got to win that deal. We got to make sure every single time that we're winning that deal. And we got to make sure our team members understand. We got to communicate within our offices. We got to make sure everybody understands when these companies come around, they are dangerous to consumers. They're bad for brokers. They're bad for LOs, and we got to put them down. So my message to them, my message to you is we're patriots. We're not mercenaries. Keep your money, and we're coming after you. That is the way. That's the game. You weren't on our radar 2-3 months ago. You're on our radar now. We got 50. We have the biggest sales force in the whole country. We got 50,000 salespeople across the country. We're here to compete because we best serve consumers. So not Patriots, excuse me, Patriots, not mercenaries, and we're coming after you. Have a great week, guys. Every single Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, the weekly sales meeting. Continue to focus. Have a happy Memorial Day weekend. I look forward to seeing everybody next week.